cultivate and planting, we have sorghum in this field. There we go, that is up and running again. Are those the lights that I have left on? Oh no. A nicely finished playground toy picked up for delivery. It's Walter. Can you help me clear out an old fishing spot? I've got some big rocks that need chipping up. This kind of looks a little bit suspicious to me. That can't be Katie's bike. But I think I am going to have to report to Walter about what's going on down here. Maybe we need to report it to Sheriff Bob as well. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the American Dream at Riverbend Springs. We're starting where we finished last time, having just done the rock clearing contract for Walter, and I think it's safe to say that we found some very odd things, some suspicious activity that looked to be going on at his fishing spot, and yeah, it was pretty evident that someone had just driven away and was watching us. So I think first thing today, the most important thing is we've got to go and have a chat with Walter and tell him what's been going on his fishing spot, his piece of land, and maybe we'll have to get the sheriff involved. But I've just been back at the farm mulling over a couple of things because we have got some more materials that we need to gather for the final stage of the construction of our farmhouse. We have got some prefab walls to try and get hold of, and some furniture for obviously furnishing our farmhouse. So yeah, those are a few things that we need to get our head around and get sorted. I've been doing a little bit of research, and I think I've found the answer for one thing, and that thing is Riverbend appears to have a carpenter. Now, I think I was aware of the carpenter being here beforehand, but we've obviously not had to use a carpenter until this point. And I can see by looking at the carpenter store page, there are multiple recipes for making furniture. The first is using 10 planks long to make 14 furniture. The second is using 10 standard planks to make 14 furniture. And then the last one is to use 10 wood to make 17 units of furniture. So that has got me thinking that wood seems to be the most optimal recipe to provide the carpenter with to make furniture. So I'm thinking we might look to lease out the carpenter and for him to make some furniture for us. And we'll do that by taking some of our leftover wood over to the carpenters. So that is the plan for the furniture. I haven't figured out prefabbed walls yet, but I'm hoping an opportunity might present itself. But what that means for the carpenter is getting some of our wood supply over to him, and I think that is the best because obviously the ratio of wood to furniture looks to be the best. We could provide some planks long and planks of our own, but these are probably more valuable to us to sell as yeah, they will be worth a good amount of money, and also Craig is in good need of these materials for making the playground toys. So yeah, I've got to figure out how to get this wood over to the carpenters. I could use my own trailer and winch, which yeah, I think that's probably my only option unless I can find anything else out. But before we get started with that, I think we best head over to Walter and report in on what we found on the piece of land where we cleared the rocks for him. As that is a lovely spot, but it does look like it's been used for some suspicious activity. Right, we'll hop into the pickup, and of course we saw Katie's bike at that spot that Walter owns. I was wondering whether I should just drop her a message, not giving too much away, and see what she comes back with, as yeah, we obviously saw the motorbike at her house as well, and we kind of need to talk to her about it really. I'll drop her a message. Hey Katie. got a couple of things that needed to talk to you about. Found some odd things at your dad's fishing spot. Wondering if you know what's going on. Chat later. Right, well that's sent away. We'll see what Katie comes back with, as we can't leave these unanswered questions, and if we just opt to not bother talking to Katie about it because we don't want to offend her or get on the wrong side of her, especially as things have been very good between us lately, then it's just going to open up a big black hole of lies or things that we don't talk about. So yeah, we don't want to be doing that. But let's head off to Walter's and report what we saw. Right, we've made it to Walter's East Farm. So let's head on in and see if he is here. I'm hoping he is. Oh yes, there he is, the old devil. Oh, Walter is such a good friend, it makes me feel better just seeing him. And yeah, we've got a bit of an odd situation to report to him, so let's see what he's got to say. Hey Walter, how you doing? Yeah, we're not too bad, thanks, not too bad. And yeah, the farmhouse is coming along really well, thanks for asking. However, I am in need of some other materials to finish up the project. We need some prefab walls and also some furniture. I was going to go see the carpenter about the furniture. Seems like he can make it out of wood. But I need some way of getting some of my logs over to the carpenters, which I don't currently have any good ideas for. Oh, well that's good to know, Walter. Thanks very much. You've got a log trailer that you've been using. Well, yeah, if we could borrow it, that would be really, really useful. And it's got a crane attached. Well, that would be perfect. Yeah, I'm not too sure on the prefab walls either. Okay. David might have some left over from when they built the farmer's market. Well, we will go and see if David has got any leftovers. Maybe he'll be willing to do a trade. Thanks, Walter. Well, as always, it's been very helpful talking to you, but that's not actually the main reason I've come to speak to you. The piece of land that you asked us to go and clear the rocks at, which we actually finished, by the way, that's all sorted now. We found some very suspicious looking equipment and materials. What do we mean by suspicious? Well, there was a cooker there, some tents, a motorbike. It kind of looked a little bit like Katie's motorbike, but I can't be sure. There were some wicker men to kind of warn people off. And I don't know much about this sort of thing, but there were some ominous looking barrels with liquid in, and also some black sacks that had been filled up and stacked on a pallet. That's right, yeah, that's what I thought as well, Walter. It looked very suspicious and odd. Something to do with illegal activities. But yeah, I didn't really know what else to do but to come and tell you. I did think about telling the sheriff as well. Well, yeah, that makes sense, Walter. It is your land after all, so yeah, if you want to report it to the sheriff, then please feel free. That would save us a job as well. Okay, thank you. Yes, well, we'll love to borrow the log trailer and crane if we can, and we'll bring it back to you as soon as we're finished. Ah, thanks for the money, Walter. I forgot about that. But yeah, the rocks are all broken up, so you've got no issues anymore, apart from that stuff that's been left at your fishing spot. Alright then, Walter, you take care and let me know what the sheriff comes back with. Cheerio. Right, there we go. I'd completely forgotten that we'd done that rock clearing for Walter, and he has paid us now, which was very good. He's also been very good to offer us a log trailer that he says he's been using, and apparently it has a crane. He said it's on the other side of the silo, so we'll take a look at it and see if it's going to be useful to us. But I do feel really bad for poor old Walter. He's obviously got a bit of a situation with some weird stuff that's on his land that he wasn't expecting to be there. So he's going to go and report that to Sheriff Bob. We'll see what comes back. Right, I think I have found the log trailer that is here. So let's just park up and we can take a little look at it. Ah, right, here we go. The Kessler 326T. It has a crane arm on it, and oh yeah, look, it's got these bars on the back which look perfect for holding logs. I think our logs are going to be a good size for this trailer, so that's pretty handy. Yeah, it looks like Walter was doing some log and tree clearing of his own, as yeah, I guess he makes his own firewood and so forth. But he said we're good to borrow this. He hasn't asked for anything to borrow it, so yeah, that's very kind of him as always. We will see if we can hitch up with the pickup. I'm hoping I can. If not, I might have to come back and bring a tractor. I probably will have to hook up a tractor to this when we want to use it, as I think it's got all the hydraulic lines and so forth. Right, let's pull up, and oh yeah, I don't think I'm able to hitch to this trailer. It needs a tractor, so yeah, I guess what we'll do is head on back to the farm. We'll grab the farmhaul, as that's the highest horsepower tractor, and we'll get that hauled back to the yard. We can load up some logs and take that over to the carpenter. Right, we've made it back, so we can park up the pickup, grab the International Harvester farmhaul, and I'm excited that we are actually going to be able to use the tractor today, because all of our field work is pretty much done. So yeah, we haven't got anything to do farm orientated. So yeah, getting to use a tractor is always a good time. So let's hop in and we can get it fired up. Lovely job. And yeah, it really does put it into contrast when we have the farmhaul parked next to old Alice. The tractor size is quite substantially different, and yeah, thankfully we have this farmhaul, the higher horsepower tractor, at our disposal now. Right, so bit of a slow journey back over to Walter's to grab that log trailer, but I think that is going to work perfectly for us to take and lift some logs into the trailer, take that over to the carpenter, and then we can get that all squared away and the recipe up and running for the carpenter to make us some furniture. Made it back. We'll give Walter a friendly toot, and we can drive over past the silo to hitch up to this trailer with the crane attachment. Fantastic. Right, well, this is hopefully going to work out pretty well. We'll just reverse up and hitch on to the trailer. Now, it is slightly annoying when trailers don't hitch up to our pickup, because it means that the logistics are a little bit slower. We can only go at tractor speed, but we have successfully hitched up now, so that is good news. We can head over to the farmyard and we can load up with our logs, which actually came from the Riverbend tornado, where there were damaged trees along the side of the road that leads to Farmer Stan's farm. And yeah, we can indicate. The tractor doesn't actually have any indicators on the rear, but the trailer does, so yeah, we need to make sure we indicate. But yeah, those logs have lasted us quite a long time for all of our sawmill operations, and now they're going to serve for making some furniture. Right, we have made it back, and I've just noticed that the farmhaul is looking a little bit dirty after its debut working in the field, so we'll have to give it a bit of a wash, keep it nice and clean. We don't want to be sort of misusing it and disrespecting it now that we own it, as Nick, or A Shadowbox, did make a lot of effort to keep it nice and clean. Alright, I think that is us lined up quite nicely next to the logs. In fact, we probably could do with getting a little bit closer just to make sure we are nice and close and square on to the logs so we can get them loaded using the crane. Right, I have activated work mode, so I'm hoping that we should be able to use the trailer. Oh, looks like we can extend the back out, which makes it a little bit longer. That's quite handy. Can we try and put down these arms somehow? There we go. It's sometimes a bit confusing using the controls when you have something like a pallet fork attached as well. Right, that is the legs down, and it was lifting the tractor up there, but it is no longer. If we switch, we should be able to hopefully start folding out the crane arm. There we go. And it's got a good amount of range to it and rotation, so that is pretty good. Right, so there's nothing for it but to try and load our first log. How can I open a claw? That is interesting. I think it's getting a bit confused with the pallet fork. There we go. We can open the crane again now. It was getting a little bit confuddled, but I've worked out the controls. So let's pick up our first log. I might be a bit jumpy because it's been a little while since we loaded logs. In fact, the last time we loaded logs, I think we were doing contracts for Noah when he had some wood contracts where there was transportation involved. Right, let's see if we can get a nice log to pick up. I think I might have to go for some of the top ones first, just because it takes a little while to, or a little bit of pressure rather, to get underneath the logs. There we go. Right, I think that will hopefully pick up a log. Might have to just lower a bit more to try and grab it. The crane is not particularly strong, I don't think. There we go. No, I'm hoping I'm not going to do any tipping. That would be unfortunate. Right, let's... oh dear, this is not going very well at all. I'm lifting up the trailer and tipping. These logs might be too heavy. Christ. Well, by sheer luck, I managed to get one in. I might have to just correct this a little bit. But the plan is, I was hoping to try and get 8 logs to the carpenter, because I think by my calculations, 8 logs is going to make the sort of amount of furniture that we need, because we need 6 pallets, I think it is. 6 pallets, so that means we need 6,000 litres of wood, at least, to make the 6 pallets worth by the recipe. So yeah, let's just try and get that in a bit closer. There we go. Right, 1 log loaded. Let's see how we get on. If it's not going to plan, we might have to change tactic and just switch to winching. I'm not sure Walter was aware of how big and heavy these logs are. Maybe we can trim them down to size, but that would take me a little while. Let's just see how we get on, shall we? Right, there we go. I have loaded a good amount of logs until it is full. I think the poor trailer has been doing quite a hard task of lifting up these rather heavy logs. They are probably a little bit heavier than the trailer is designed for, so hopefully it's not damaged. But what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 logs on there. So that is what we wanted. We'll need to get this strapped down because, yeah, we don't want it going anywhere. I maybe have loaded it a little bit more towards the rear, and that's just the ease of getting the logs butted up towards the back with the crane. It can be quite tricky. But let's hop back in the tractor. We can get the Albert fork reattached, and I will have to see about loading in this arm. There we go. Right, okay, I was slightly worried that when I lifted that arm up that the tractor was going to get lifted up by the weight on the rear of the trailer, but it looks like we're all good. So yeah, after a little bit of finicking around to begin with to get used to it, I did actually get into the rhythm of loading the logs by the end of it. And yeah, we've got a good quantity, 8 logs on there, so I'm hoping this supply of wood is going to be adequate to give us 6,000 litres of furniture, or 6 pallets of furniture. We'll have to see how the carpenter gets on with it. But yeah, I think we haven't got any beacons, so I might have to put the hazards on, just so we keep a good amount of road safety. In fact, I've been a bit of an idiot because I don't even know where the carpenter's is. So let me just slow right down to a stop. And oh yeah, it's a bit silly. Can't quite keep the handbrake on. There we go. So looking at the map, it seems like the carpenter is at the centre of Riverbend, behind where the warehouse and grain mill is. So here's the warehouse, here's the grain mill, and here is the carpenter's. So yeah, we're going to head over there. Right, slow and easy drive over, I think, just to make sure we don't have any road accidents. I hope I don't have any hills to go up, as I think this tractor might struggle with the weight. Right, we made it into Riverbend, and I think the carpenter's is just behind the Willow Lumber Company's building. So let's head on back there. Right, we can pull in here. I think, is this it? Am I in the right place? Right, I think I may have gone too far. It is this section here is where we want to unload our wood, and I'll have to go in and speak to the carpenter at the Willow Lumber Yard. Right, that should be parked up well enough. Let's lock on the door and see who's here. So we have spoken to the carpenter, and he's been kind enough to crack on and unload all of our wood for us. We have got 10,943 litres in there, with 2 logs to spare, so we've actually brought too much wood for what he can store here, but he's just left it outside, which is handy. And he has told us that to rent the carpenters, it is $821 per month, in addition to the cost per month of running the productions, which is $72. And for that, he can crack on and convert our wood into furniture. So what that is going to do is that is going to convert 10 units of wood, or 10,943 litres in our case, into 17 furniture. So if my calculations are correct, we should end up with about 17,000 litres of furniture, which is way more than we needed. So yeah, thanks to the wood being heavier and bulkier, we have additional literage, but that might mean that we can actually make some money from selling the furniture to other places. But of course, we've got the cost of leasing the carpenters to contend with as well. But yeah, hopefully we should have enough for ourselves and maybe a bit spare. Right. There we go, the carpenter is up and away, and yeah, there's some leftover or spare wood here, which we didn't need. So I think we're probably good to return this trailer to Walter. We are not going to be needing it, so let's just, shall we, get everything folded away nicely. Want to try and return this to Walter how we found it. And yeah, it looks like the trailer is in still good working order. So yeah, no worries about lifting up anything that was too heavy. Excellent. Right, we can fold that back in now. And we can start the journey back to Walter's to get this dropped off. Right, we made it back to Walter's, so we can turn on in and get this trailer dropped back off. It's very kind of Walter to let us borrow it. Here we go. This is where we found it, so we can drop it off back here. Right, that is dropped off, so we can head on back to our farm. And I think we're going to pay a little visit to David, as Walter said that he might have some prefabricated walls left over from when the farmers market was built. So that sounds like a potential lead. And yeah, we'll go and chat to David. Oh, what's this here? Aha, looks like the sheriff has stopped by to investigate Walter's land, which we obviously reported there was some suspicious stuff at. I'm not going to stop, as I'll leave the sheriff to do his work. Don't want to intervene. But yeah, be curious to see what the sheriff has got to say, and if he launches any investigations off the back of it. Right, well, we've carried on in the tractor straight to David's, as yeah, we need to have a chat with him and see if he has got any prefabricated walls for us. Here he is. Give him a toot. Hey David, it's good to see you. No, we're not here to borrow your baler this time, thankfully. I was coming to speak to you because Walter said you might have some prefabricated walls left over from the farmers market when it was built. Oh, you do? 4 pallets worth. Well, I think that's exactly the quantity we need to finish our farmhouse build. I don't suppose you'll be willing to sell them, would you? Right, okay. You're not willing to sell them, but we could work for them. Right, what have you got in mind? Alright, I see you've got some irrigation contracts that need doing. Well, we have the sprayer that we bought from Farmer Stan, so I think that's something that we could tackle for you. So, taking a look at what David has got on offer, he's got 2 irrigation contracts, and that involves basically watering the field to make sure that it stays at a good level of moisture. He has got field 77, which is 5.35 hectares, and he's also got field 88, which is 4 hectares, both of which need irrigation, spraying with water. And rather than getting the contract money for it, which he is looking to pay handsomely, he is going to give us the 4 pallets of prefabricated walls that we need. Well, a deal's a deal, David. We will do the 2 fields of irrigation for you for the 4 pallets of prefabricated walls. Excellent. Yeah, we'll crack on with that and see you when we're done. Right, we can fire up the farm all. We need to get back to the farmyard, grab the sprayer, and we'll need to fill it with water so we can do the irrigation of the 2 fields for David, 77 and 88. That's nice and easy to remember. Right, no time to wash the farm all. I'll have to do that later, but we can grab the sprayer, which we did actually clean and is looking nice and bright. Fired up into life. I think this was a very good purchase, this sprayer. It has come in handy, and we've done quite a bit of work associated to spraying ever since we did buy it. Right, we've got liquid fertilizer in, which we need to unload, and then we can load up using our water point the water into the tank of this sprayer. Right, liquid fertilizer unloaded, so let's back right up to the hose so we can get loaded up. $4,000 litres. That was very quick to fill up, which was handy. I do wonder how far this water is going to go. if we run out, we might have to come back here or find another water point. But yes, we need to head over to field 77 and 88, so let's see which one is closest. Right, I've consulted the map. Field 77 and 88 are on the long road that leaves Riverbend. Oh, my brakes! Jesus! Now that I'm full of water here, it is actually struggling to brake. Thank goodness there were no cars coming. That could have been disastrous. Right, I'm going to have to really watch how fast I'm going and if I'm going downhill at all. But let's head over to the first field and we can get to spraying the water. Might have to come back if we need to top up with water, but then we'll move straight on to the next field. So let's get this all done for David, and then we've got ourselves some prefabricated walls. Right, well, we have done the irrigation on both fields 77 and 88, but I have a feeling that David is going to wish that we didn't bother, because he hadn't checked the forecast, and nor had I, and it has just started raining, so we are getting nature's irrigation right now through the water, which is interesting. But nonetheless, we have sprayed additional water on those fields, so I'm sure David will be happy with the moisture levels now. I'm guessing maybe he got us to spray it because maybe there's only a little amount of rain planned this afternoon and could well be a dry summer. But let's head back. We can park up the sprayer and report into David to go and get our prefabricated walls sorted. Right, we made it back. It's still raining something fierce. I think I can hear the ducks having a good old time in the streams. Right, we can get parked under the shed, and I think what we'll do is we'll probably take the tractor with our trailer over to David's, as we're going to have to load up the prefabricated walls, and we'll probably need the pallet fork and the front loader to do that. And yeah, not sure how many prefab walls we can fit on a trailer, but the trailer will help us speed up the job, I'm sure. That does mean we'll be open cab though, so I'm going to grab my jacket. There we go. That will hopefully keep us a little bit drier. Let's hop on the farm wall, grab the trailer. There we go. Trailer is in the shed. On to David's. Right, we made it over here. I can't see David, so let's just see if he's left us a note or something. Right, let's have a look. Looks like he's left a note. Prefab walls are behind the old barn. David. Well, thank you, David. Assume he knows that we have done the irrigation work, even though it has started raining. That will surely be a bit of a bugbear of his, because, yeah, had he just waited, it would have rained and we probably wouldn't have needed to do the irrigation, and then he wouldn't need to part way with the prefabricated walls. But yeah, I'm sure he's happy to help us out. I think I just gleamed the prefabricated walls behind the old barn, like David said. Here we go. They are here. So what I think I'm going to be able to do is get one on the trailer and then have one on the pallet fork, and then I'll be able to do a trip back, unload, and then come back for a second wind. It might make sense actually if I switch the sides of the trailer to the other side. There we go, and that way I might be able to load up a little bit easier, but we will give it a go. There we go. The prefab walls have been dropped off now, and I cannot wait to get out of this rain. It is something fierce. I think that irrigation for David was a complete waste of time, but it worked out quids in for us because we were able to get our hands on some prefab walls. I'm hoping I can just squeeze the trailer in front of the plough. There we go, and we can park up the International. Ugh, be pleased to get out of this rain. Hey, is that the sheriff I can hear? My goodness, it is the sheriff. Well, what's he doing here? No, I think he wants to talk to us. Hello, Sheriff. What brings you here? That's right. We reported to Walter that there was some suspicious stuff on his land where he has a fishing spot. What? What do you mean you couldn't find anything suspicious there? Well, yes, Sheriff. We'll drive down there right now and show you. Follow me. This is it. In this track left here. Hold on a minute. Where's that wicker man gone? Let's pull in. Oh God. It's been completely cleared out. Well, I just don't know what to say, Sheriff. It's been completely cleared out. That's right, in the shed behind you there was a cooker, there were some barrels with some suspicious fluid, and there were some sacks that were fully packed and on a pallet, ready to go. Some tents and some other bits and bobs laying around. Someone was definitely up to something suspicious here. Well, no, we didn't think to get any photos. We thought that you would just come here and see what we saw. But it's all gone. Wasting police time? You've got to be joking, Sheriff. We wouldn't make this up. Why would we? Filing false reports? Now, come on, Sheriff. You know us better than that. Is that right? We wouldn't make a very good deputy on your sheriff force after all. Well, that's not a problem, Sheriff. Don't you worry. Well, that's the sheriff on his way. I can't believe it. The whole place has been cleared out. There was a cooker, the pallet with the bags, the tanks with the fluid, the tents. And I didn't tell the sheriff that Katie's bike was here, because I didn't want to get her into trouble unnecessarily. You heard the sheriff. I think he thinks that we're making it up, filing false reports and wasting police time. I can't believe it. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to tell Walter what's happened. I hope he believes us. If he listens to the sheriff, Walter might think that we're going mad and have just made it up. But silly me, I didn't take any photographs, so I didn't think that it was going to be necessary to do such a thing. Because, yeah, I thought the sheriff would just come here and find what we were talking about, and that would be it. We'd have done the right thing, and he could have investigated it. Well, we've made it back home now, and I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. I have no idea what's going on. Someone must have come back to that spot and cleared out what was there in the short space of time that we've been busy with jobs today. I can't believe it. What a nightmare. Well, we'll see what comes of our false reports to the sheriff. He seemed pretty dissatisfied and displeased with us. Hopefully that's not going to come back to bite us. I can only but think that we've got to try and find a way of proving what we saw somehow. But at least we have got the materials into our farmhouse. The prefab walls are in there, and we've got furniture being built at the carpenters. So hopefully not before long we're going to have this farmhouse completed. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all that's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on the American Dream at Riverbend Springs. And until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.